So today I'd like to address a question that often comes up. Should boys be raised differently from girls? And if the answer is yes, then how? So here's the thing. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out that boys are different from girls. I have male children and I have female children. I have 2 boys and I have 2 girls. And right from infancy, you could tell that there's something different about boys and girls. If you ask parents of boys and parents of girls, you find out that it's a different ball game raising both genders. There are behaviors that are almost intrinsic to boys and behaviors that are almost intrinsic to girls. And scientific studies have actually shown that men who have higher levels of testosterone, which is the hormone that is responsible for the masculine features of boys and men who have higher levels of that hormone, testosterone, tend to exhibit more aggressive behavior, more dominant behavior, and they tend to have an inclination towards dangerous activities and a greater sense of adventure. So scientifically, it appears that the hormonal makeup of boys and girls also produces certain types of behaviors in them. But today I'm not here to talk about the science. We just want to examine the implications of these differences on the upbringing of our children. But before I get into that, have you subscribed to my channel? Why not? If you haven't, take a moment to click that bell button and help me grow my channel. If you like what you're hearing, help me to tell YouTube so that they can promote it more. Click the like button, share the video with someone, press the notification button, and do go ahead and subscribe. So let's dive into today's topic. So let's start with the question, should boys be raised differently from girls? And to that, I'll say a big yes. And then, of course, the following question will be, how? What things should I be teaching my girls different from what I teach my boys? So there are different types of skills. There are life skills and then there are role skills. Of course, we know there are professional skills and personal skills and all that. But broadly, we can divide the kind of skills we need to live our lives into 2. Life skills, which are gender neutral, and then there are role skills. Before I go into defining what life skills and role skills are, I'd also like to say that we have to understand that the difference between male and female, or this whole dichotomy of raising them differently, only comes up when it comes to the issue of marriage or a family setting. Apart from the family setting, a male who is not married is going to live by himself as a full-grown adult, and a female who is not married is going to live by herself as a full-grown adult. So they need to be able to survive. And that's the place of life skills that you need, whether you are in a family or you are living alone. As an adult, you need these skills. As a person, you need these skills to be able to survive, to be able to live effectively and independently. So what are some of these skills? Cooking skills. Whether you are male or female, married or single, you're going to eat. So you need to be able to at least cook some basic meals, even if you decide that, no, I never want to cook again for the rest of my life. But at least you have to be able to do some basic things. You have to be able to manage your finances, because every adult has to have money or a source of income or resources to live by. You have to have an understanding of financial management, how to manage your income, how to grow it, how to multiply it, and all that. So you're going to need financial skills, whether you're male or female. You're going to need housekeeping skills, whether you're male or female. So housekeeping skills like washing your clothes, tidying up the kitchen, keeping your house clean, all those kind of things. You will need time management skills, you will need project management skills, you will need social skills to be able to interact with other people. You will need to be able to manage your car. So whether you're male or female, if you're going to be getting around in a car, you have to be able to take care of that car. You have to be able to maintain it. You have to have a basic understanding of how the cars work. You have to be able to change the tire in case you get into an emergency, things like that. You have to have those skills. Those are not role skills. Those are not gender specific skills. Those are life skills that you need. Everybody needs, whether they're male, they're female. And then we have the role skills. Now, again, the role skills come up only when it comes to the context of living in a family. Because if you're going to get married, then there's some structure, there's some order that needs to come into that. There are gender-specific roles that each person fills, and the other person will not be filling largely. So those are the things that you need to teach your kids. And what are those things? In this video, I'm going to be starting with what you need to teach your girl child. And we're going to be focusing on 3 things you need to teach your girl child. Now, in a marriage or in a family, the main thing that happens to a woman when she gets in, first of all, is that she has to submit to a man. Now, I've spoken about this so many times, and I know that some people are going to go up in arms and say, hey, no, you know, that whole submission thing is a scam and all that. But I believe that God created everything. If you're coming from that worldview that there is a God, there's a creator who is in charge of everything, then he has set down rules for us to follow. Now, in every relationship, there's a structure. There's a way that things should run. So if you get to an organization, there is a boss, there's a subordinate, there's a way that things are structured so that things can run effectively. And in a family structure, the way God has put it is that the man is the head of the family and the wife submits. Now, I've done a video about submission and what it means and how to submit and all that. So you can find that video on my channel, and what I'm referencing it up there. So you can go ahead and watch that video. But let's take it that a woman needs to submit to a man. The man is the head of the home and the woman submits to him, and then they raise children together. So that is the structure of a family. So the very first important skill that you need to teach your girl child is how to be strong and independent-minded and expressive without being overbearing. Now, one thing that often causes problems in a family setting is that the woman doesn't want to feel subjugated and subdued, and so she needs to be able to speak her mind, she needs to be strong, she needs to be independent, she needs to be able to hold her own. And that's very important. But in a marriage setting, a woman has to learn, she has to be schooled in the art. It's an art, it's something you actually learn. You have to be schooled in the art of being expressive, of being independent, not losing your identity, but at the same time not being overbearing and appearing like you want to usurp authority. If there's one thing that men appreciate and that brings out the best of them, it is respect, being respected. And so the need for respect is almost innate in men. And I believe that it's because of the leadership role that God has given them within the family context. So a woman needs to be strong, she needs to be independent, that's a life skill. But at the same time, particularly for a woman who is going to be married, she needs to understand how to do that while at the same time not being overbearing. That's one thing you need to teach your daughter. The second very important thing you need to teach your girl child is the balance between self-love and selflessness. Now, many women have got to the point where they've been selfless over the years. They've been so selfless, they've thought about everybody's needs, they've put their husbands first, they've put their children first, and then they get to a point and they find out that everybody has moved on, everybody has achieved except them. So they've loved everybody and not loved themselves. There's a balance. With everything in life, there is a balance. And in this case in particular, there is a balance. There's a balance between selflessness and self-love. As you're loving everybody, putting everybody first, don't put yourself last. There are times to prioritize yourself and your needs. The important thing is that you are not being selfish. You have a bird's eye view of everything that needs to be done, and it's balanced out. If you continually put yourself last every single time, you will live to regret it, and you will be bitter at the end of the day. Because at some point, everybody is going to move on, and it won't be because they're not considering you. It's because you are supposed to have moved on as well, but you feel left behind because you're still in the same spot, because you've pushed everybody on and you've not moved yourself forward. So as a woman learns to move everybody forward, she should also be moving herself. That balance between self-love and selflessness is a very delicate thing, but it's something that we should highlight and teach our girl children. The third important thing that we need to teach our girl children is practical. We need to give them practical tips on how to manage the many roles that they're going to be playing. Whether we like to accept it or not, women just fulfill multiple roles. One of the major reasons why is because we incubate babies. A man cannot help you with that. The most empathetic, most loving of men can do everything else for you, but he cannot help you to incubate a baby. So you will carry the pregnancy. But with that role also comes many things. So it means it will be more practical, most likely, for you to pull back from work for a bit and take care of the child. That's why women get prolonged maternity leave. In some places, they even get up to a year of maternity leave with an extra 6 months. So women will stay off work for a while. And those roles that we feel as you're juggling career, juggling motherhood, juggling wifehood and all that, it can be very overwhelming. And that is just the truth. It can be very overwhelming. We need to give our girl children practical tips on how they can manage those different roles, which sometimes conflict each other. But now we may not be able to do all that from when they are young, but as they approach a certain age, we need to give them practical information. We need to prepare them for those roles. And it's one of the reasons why I advocate that women should have alternative skills outside paid employment skills. Luckily today, with the advent of remote work and mobile phones and internet technology and all that, it's easier and easier for us to get alternative skills that we can work on from within our homes without having to go out. So while you're nurturing children, you can still be fulfilling your dreams and earning an income and all that. We need to prepare our girl children for that time, because it will come. If they're going to get married and live within a family context, then that will come, and we need to prepare them for that intentionally and practically. So those are 3 things that we can teach our girl children. Number 1, teach them to be strong and independent and expressive without being overbearing. In other words, teach them how to submit. Secondly, we need to teach them the balance between self-love and selflessness. And thirdly, we need to teach them, prepare them practically and intentionally on how to manage the various roles that they're going to be playing within the context of a family. So what was the most important thing you learned in this video? Tell me in the comments. Until I come your way again next time. Ciao!